Once you've got T-Scan open, you take data in exactly the same way using the record and new window button. But when you come to review the data, it looks slightly different. So if we go into the abstraction management, for example, we can see that the screen now comes up such that we can change any of the patient's information on the screen. We have the movie list here in the center of the screen, and then there's something called workups that comes in the middle of the screen, and at the bottom you can actually change the diagnostic procedures. So if you've got the wrong diagnostic procedure, you can just change it there, and that movie's now labeled differently. It is actually a left lateral excursion, this one, so let's just put that back. Okay, so if we now open this movie, because it's a left lateral excursion, it's an excursive movie, the system automatically puts in the anterior posterior divisions, so that's already on the screen when you look at it. The zoom graph and the normal graph are also on the screen. What you may notice is that the borders here, the colour borders, are slightly thicker. That makes it easier to actually look at what we're looking at and see the difference of colours. And also what you'll see is that there are some sort of purple colours. What purple means is that those particular scent cells were maxed out, so they went too red, and then there was an increasing force on them of which the sensor could not read the increasing force, so it just indicates to you that it reached its maximum limit of recording. So that's fine as long as you don't have too many of them. If you have too many of them, then maybe you're using too high a sensitivity, so you would just bring the sensitivity down slightly. What you may also notice is that the graph window looks slightly different. It's sort of cleaner and easier to look at. The A and the B line the algorithms are better, so the A and the B line are more consistently in the correct place. The C and the D line are more consistently in the correct place. And what you also have is along the side of the chart here, you now have little icons that appear for the occlusion time and disclusion time. So if the occlusion time had been okay, we'd have got a little tick, a little green tick up here. If it's in borderline range, then it would have been orange, and it's actually outside a reasonable range, so it's outside the range, and it's come up with this little triangle here to suggest that it's outside the range. So the software is now doing some things to kind of help out there. We also have two little buttons here, the occlusion table and the disclusion table. If we click the occlusion table, it just shows us, it gives us a window that shows us the average values where the A line is and the values where the B line is. And if you click the disclusion table, it does the same, except it's the C line and the D line. So this is just a table that allows us to see what's going on numerically a little bit easier. Okay. There's a thickening and a bluing of the line, the timeline, where the occlusion time is, and a sort of a thickening in the red line to show disclusion time. So they're all just sort of nicer and easier to read the data. Everything else about the system is pretty much the same. In terms of looking at the data, you still click through in the way that you want and see where you have occlusion and disclusion, where you have working side and balancing side interferences.